Taking it true. Let's get it.
We talk about the GOAT, man. He might be the GOAT. He set a new bar.
Setting the bar? He's killing the bar.
He set a new bar, I'm saying.
Both of them are on the list, the top 10.
What? Come on. Is he the best player in the league?
I can't say that.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Texas over everything. Everything bone out.
You ain't won every bet.
I have, though.
Nope. Come on. Oh, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. That's easy money. They feeling too good about themselves. They outside. I don't care what time it is. Think about it.
South Beach.
I think to my parlay. The PP parlay.
Listen to the Commissioner Pierce here. He has the insights on the flow of what we're creating here.
Truth is truth.
They doing the cha-cha, goddammit.
Big team doing the cha-cha slide.
Cha-cha.
Right.
Cha-cha.
Scared?
You ain't big at all.
You gonna look good right on the ground.
Think about it.
Got no defense.
And you're delusional of your defense.
Cameras up top in the back.
Las Vegas is buzzing this week for all things Gervonta Davis versus King Ryan Garcia, two young fighters right in the midst of their absolute prime.
Give me the World Cup final, give me the NBA finals. I take this over all of that.
I put the work in. He gonna fail me.
Just have to wait and see when I'm in there why I'm so special. It's gonna happen and it's gonna be over.
I touch that jaw, I'm telling you, you're going to sleep. I'm gonna break your jaw, I promise you.
This man's never punished anybody in his life, man.
The talking battle, Ryan is definitely winning, but that don't win fights.
Garcia is one of the most talented fighters I've ever been involved with.
Tank Davis by KO, and it might be Earl.
I don't train him for knockout. I train him for punishment.
Tyson, Holyfield, Corrales, Castillo, Mayweather, Canelo, Mayweather, Pacquiao. This event will go down on that list.
The winner of this fight will be the new king of the sport.
Two guys undefeated, don't like each other.
This is the moment where everything catches up for you in every way.
All he's relying on is weak-ass hook. That's it. Don't have nothing.
Showtime pay-per-view. Saturday night, it's time for the mega fight of the year.
Your whole career is gonna come to a halt.
I don't know about him, but I'm coming with some stuff.
We are now 1 day away from the biggest fight of the year between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. Welcome to the Toshiba Plaza just outside the T-Mobile Arena where the fight will go down on Saturday night. And as you can see, it is packed in here. The three of us have been here a little while waiting for things to warm up. It certainly has warmed up here in Vegas, I can tell you that, but so too is the crowd. It is absolutely just brimming with people here. Welcome along. It's fantastic to have you with us. My name's Kate Abdo. I'm joined today for this show by Brian Campbell, host of Morning Combat, by Ariel Helwani, host of the MMA. Fantastic to be with you both. My first time joining the crew, so thank you for having me, first of all.
Group hug, yes.
You picked a good fight in a great atmosphere, for sure.
I did, and they say in any relationship you should get to know what the person looks like without makeup. You're about to find that out because I'm about to sweat it through during the show. I feel like you know it's a big fight, right? When you see a turnout for the weigh-in like this, you already know, okay, this is huge.
Oh my gosh, I feel right now like I don't know if I've ever experienced a crowd like this for a public weigh-in outdoors. The last time I felt something like this in Las Vegas, if I'm being honest, was Mayweather-McGregor. I don't, and you've been to more boxing weigh-ins than I have. I've been to more MMA weigh-ins, I would say. This feels Mayweather-McGregor-esque. It feels palpable, and you can't even see it right now. You see behind us. Let me tell everyone at home, all right, you're getting the shots right now. This is going all the way to the other side of the plaza. Brian, this is incredible. I think this is a big fight.
This. Look, the people have been making it that word that hey, we're getting Mayweather feels this week. Gervonta Davis says, you know, Mayweather's always been his mentor. He's starting to build his brand on a level where maybe it's not Mayweather level, but this is the right fight at the right time in the right setting with the two right fighters who bring in completely separate fan bases, yet organically built in their own right. We've got the Mexican-American side in Ryan Garcia, the social media side and everything he brings, as well as his fighting ability. But Gervonta Davis connects with celebrities with a totally different market as he's crossed this country selling out arena after arena. That this is like a summit of everything we love about this game. All the fans are here. opposite side of the streets, all those things we've talked about to get here, and the energy lets you know that it's a big one.
Yeah, I've actually never been at a fight that Gervonta Davis was headlining before. Does it feel different because he's fighting another superstar? Is this a totally different kettle of fish?
Well, there is this energy at all Tank fights that I love, and it's that energy of maybe, I don't know if Tank likes this comparison. We say it once in a while, the Mike Tyson of the smaller weight classes.
How could you not like that?
I mean, but Tank's so great, he doesn't need comparison to others, really what I'm saying. But the point on the Mike Tyson thing is, whether you're a hardcore fan, there's a lot of them here, or whether you're here for the excitement and the knockout, that's what Tank delivers.
And could I add, if I may, some weigh-ins are kind of elementary. This one is theater in its own right because I want to see how Ryan Garcia looks coming down to 136. So it's not just, hey, let's be here and see a face-off. I'm actually curious to see if he weighs in and weighs in successfully, and if he does, how does he look?
Yeah, so you guys can see the stage just behind us where the fighters of the main card and actually the prelims fight, which we are going to call together, all going to weigh in very shortly indeed. I guess I'm interested, would anybody be shocked if Ryan misses weight or either of them miss weight?
Well, yesterday I had a chance to speak to him, and he told me he was 137, and that was about 24 hours ago. So that's 1 pound off, unless he was lying to me. But he seemed pretty damn good. I mean, he seemed pretty svelte. So I don't think he is. Consummate pro.
Sure.
He's ready for this moment. I would be absolutely floored. But don't forget, rehydration tomorrow, 10 a.m. There's another way.
Don't forget,
146.
Look, Ryan Garcia came back after a 6-month layoff in 2022. He fought twice. Both fights were at the 140-pound division, although the weight came in somewhere in the middle. He does have to come down at the stipulation for this fight. But that's what it took to make this fight happen, and here we are.
Did he share with you whether it was costing him, whether it was difficult for him to drop back?
He said it was very, very easy. Of course he's going to say all these things, right? But he did seem believable when he was saying this. But I really do think this is a massive factor. Like when we talk about the fight, the fact that he has to, A, come down to 136 and then rehydrate tomorrow, cap of 146 by 10 a.m., I think that's a real factor going into this fight.
And you know what it also tells you? That tells you maybe not exactly what Oscar De La Hoya was saying at the press conference on Thursday, that Team Davis is scared. Maybe just that Team Davis knows how dangerous Ryan Garcia has the potential to be across from him, and that's why this fight was set up that way.
Well, final face-off is also coming your way, of course, here at the weigh-in, which we're just about ready now to get started. We're going to send you down to Ray Flores at the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome to the official weigh-in to the most highly anticipated fight of the year. Gervonta Tank Davis and King Ryan Garcia tomorrow night on Showtime pay-per-view from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. We go live tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time on Showtime pay-per-view. Prior to that, we have a doubleheader on the Showtime Sports YouTube page, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. It is all being presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by GTD Promotions, along with TGB Promotions and Golden Boy Promotions. Tomorrow night's event brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, use the code word gloves, and bet on Tank Davis versus King Ryan now. By Big George Foreman, exclusively in movie theaters on April 28th. Tickets on sale now, rated PG-13. By Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade with 200 milligrams of caffeine, electrolytes, and zero sugar. By Cuervo Tradicional, smooth, has an edge. And by Fast 10, in theaters on May 19th. Our opening fight on the Showtime Sports YouTube page comes your way. 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time, 10 rounds. This in the super welterweight division. As we want to bring up to the stage from Reynosa, Mexico. His record, 20 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, including 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Jose Sanchez Charles. And his opponent from Roseland, New Jersey, 14 wins, 1 loss, 9 of those coming by way of knockout, known as White Magic. Please welcome Vito Malnicki Jr. This is a 10-round super welterweight matchup to begin the Showtime Sports YouTube prelims, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. First onto the scale, Jose Sanchez Charles. $154.3 for Charles. 154.3 for from Reynosa, Mexico, Jose Sanchez Charles. And here is White Magic, Vito Melnicki Jr. $153.1 for Vito Melnicki Jr. 153.1 for Vito Melnicki Jr. This will begin our prelims on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. It'll be Vito Melnicki Jr. and Jose Sanchez Charles. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 prelim fights, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. That'll give us way for our pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. If you haven't bought the pay-per-view, make sure to do it. It is Showtime pay-per-view, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. Now we're going to bring the guys up to face off Vito Melnicki Jr. and Jose Sanchez Charles. Las Vegas, show your appreciation. The louder you cheer, the harder these guys will fight tomorrow night inside a jam-packed T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Vito Melnicki Jr., 14-1. 9 knockouts from Roseland, New Jersey, will be 21 next month. Happy early birthday to Vito Melnicki Jr. Also, happy early birthday to Brittany Goosen Brown of TGB Promotions, one of the promoters of tomorrow night's event. Here is Vito Melnicki Jr. and Jose Sanchez Charles. This will begin the Showtime Sports YouTube prelims. Melnicki and Charles. That is our Showtime prelim opener, Vito Melnicki Jr. and Jose Sanchez Charles. Give them a round of applause. And now we get ready for 10 rounds or less, this one in the middleweight division. As we bring up from Merida, Mexico, 22 wins, 15 of those coming by way of knockout against 5 defeats. Here is Elias Espadas. And his opponent, fighting out of Warsaw, Poland. His record a perfect one, 21 fights, 21 victories, 13 of those coming by way of knockout. Here is the fast rising middleweight, the undefeated Fedor Cherkashin. First up, we will have Elias Espadas on the scale. And then after this weigh-in, we will get ready for our Showtime pay-per-view main card. 6 fights total tomorrow night on television. 2 on the Showtime Sports prelims, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. Then our pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. We start an hour early. First onto the scale, we have Elias Espadas. 158.9 for Elias Espadas. 158.9 for Elias Espadas. And his opponent, the undefeated Fedor Cherkashin. Fedor. 159.1 for Cherkashin. 159.1 for Fedor Cherkashin. 10 rounds or less, this one in the middleweight division. This will be the main event on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time is when the action gets rolling. Then we go live on Showtime pay-per-view. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, 4 fights on our main card, highlighted by Gervonta Tank Davis and King Ryan Garcia. The biggest fight of the year comes your way tomorrow night here in Las Vegas. We will now have the ceremonial face-off with Fedor Cherkashin and Elias Espadas. Las Vegas, make some noise for this one. 10 rounds or less in the middleweight division. Fedor Cherkashin, and from Mexico, Elias Espadas. And now to get going for our pay-per-view main card, I'll turn it over to the Hall of Famer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and indeed, once again, we welcome you as Premier Boxing Champions presents and continues with the official weigh-in for our blockbuster pay-per-view event right here at the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, brought to you by GTD Promotions, TGB Promotions, Golden Boy Promotions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let's welcome our fighters to the stage for our opening pay-per-view attraction. First, from Nicolas Romero in Mexico. He is the hard-hitting, knockout-minded middleweight contender. Please welcome Kevin Salgado. And now we invite his opponent to the stage at this time. He is 14-0, 12 knockouts, hailing from Whitman, Arizona. He's the undefeated 19-year-old middleweight contender, the undefeated Elijah Garcia. And at this time, we bring our fighters to the scale at this time. 10 rounds of boxing, opening pay-per-view attraction. It's in the middleweight division. 160 pounds is the weight limit. First with 10 knockouts in his 15 wins. A boxing warrior from Mexico. Please welcome to the stage at this time, Kevin Salgado. Kevin Salgado weighs in at 159 and 1/4 pounds, 159 1/4 pounds. And now his opponent, once again undefeated at 14-0 with 12 knockouts. He's the young undefeated Southpaw protege and world rank contender, Elijah Garcia.
Elijah.
159 1/4 pounds, 159 1/4 pounds for the undefeated Elijah Garcia. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. Opens up our pay-per-view attraction. Middleweights, 10 rounds of boxing. Elijah Garcia versus Kevin Salgado.
Guys.
All right, fans, here we go. We're ready to continue with our official weigh-in. Premier Boxing Champions continues the action. We move into the super middleweight division in a rematch special attraction. Hard to compete with that. The one and only former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson, along with Elijah Garcia, wishing him the best of luck. Once again, we're going to bring our fighters up. Oh, there he is. He might even sing for us. I don't know. Let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time. Our second pay-per-view attraction. First, please welcome, fighting out of Indio, California, by way of Uzbekistan. He is Olympic silver medalist, a distinguished professional at this time, seeking his revenge in this rematch. Please welcome to the stage, Bektemir Melikuziev. And now we invite to the stage his opponent in this 10-round rematch, fighting out of Los Angeles by way of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the exciting two-time world title challenger, King Gabriel Rosado. All right, fans, let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. Super middleweights in a rematch attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. First to the scale with a record of 11-1 with 9 knockouts, making his Showtime debut and seeking revenge tomorrow night. Once again, please welcome Bektemir Melikuziev.
Back.
167.25 pounds, 167 1/4 pounds for Bektemir Melikuziev. And now his opponent, veteran of 43 professional bouts. Having faced 8 world champions in his career, here is the accomplished, battle-ready contender, King Gabriel Rosado.
Right here, Gabriel.
167.25 pounds, 167.25, the same as his opponent for King Gabriel Rosado. And don't miss this rematch of the super middleweight division. King Gabriel Rosado, Bektemir Melikuziev. 10 rounds of boxing. It promises to be an exciting showdown. All right, fans, here we go. Premier Boxing Champions continues the official weigh-in with our world title attraction. Welcome the fighters to the stage at this time. First, we present the challenger. Joining us from Vitória, Espírito Santo in Brazil. He's ranked the WBA number 6 super middleweight world contender. Please welcome to the stage, Yamaguchi Falcão. And now we invite his opponent to the stage at this time. He's the defending champion, fighting out of Minneapolis, Minnesota by way of Santa Clara, Cuba. He'll be making the 5th defense of his title. Please welcome the WBA super middleweight champion of the world, David Morrell Jr. And let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. The WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Weight limit is 168 pounds. First to the scale is the challenger. Ranked the number 6 contender, making his first attempt at a world title and his Showtime debut. Here is Yamaguchi Falcão. 166.5 pounds, 166.5 pounds for the challenger, Yamaguchi Falcão. And now the defending champion, with a record of 8 wins, no losses, 7 wins, coming by way of knockout, making his Las Vegas debut and the 5th defense of his title. Here is the WBA Super Middleweight Champion of the World, David Morrell Jr. 167.75 pounds, 167.75 pounds for the champion. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, a world title attraction for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the World. David Morrell Jr. versus the challenger, Yamaguchi Falcão. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Premier Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's highly anticipated showdown between 2 young, undefeated superstars of the sport, and our featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by GTD Promotions, TGB Promotions, Golden Boy Promotions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. Our night is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, Download the app, use the code GLOVES, and bet on Tank Davis versus King Ryan Garcia now. Also brought to you by Big George Foreman, exclusively in movie theaters, April 28th. Tickets on sale now, rated PG-13. Also powered by Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade with 200 milligrams of caffeine, electrolytes, and 0 sugar. And Cuervo Tradicional Cristalino Smooth has an edge, along with Fast 10 in theaters May 19th. All right, fans, here we go. A battle of undefeated stars of the sport. Our featured attraction, we bring our fighters to the stage at this time. First, the young undefeated star of boxing, fighting out of Los Angeles by way of Victorville, California. Making his Showtime debut, here is the former interim WBC lightweight champion of the world, King Ryan Garcia. And now we invite to the stage the young undefeated star of boxing from Baltimore, Maryland. Here is the 5-time 3-division champion of the world, Gervonta Tank Davis. All right, fans, here we go. Let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. Catch weight, 136-pound super fight. First to the scale with a record of 23 wins, no losses. He has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated, hard-hitting, popular sensation of boxing, King Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia weighs in at 135.5 pounds. 135.5 pounds for King Ryan Garcia. And now to the scale with a record of 28 wins, no losses, 26 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the popular, hard-hitting star of boxing and the 3-division champion of the world, Gervonta Tank Davis. £135. 135.1 is official. 135 pounds is what we're calling it. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss the action. It's the main event of the evening. 136-pound catchweight super fight. Gervonta Tank Davis versus King Ryan Garcia. And now we're going to get a chance to hear from our fighters. And to lead us in this interview, Q&A time, renowned combat sports journalist Ariel Helwani. Ariel, take it away.
Jimmy, thank you very much. Ryan, just a couple minutes with you here, a couple seconds. Much was made of the weigh-ins. How was the cut for you?
I feel good right now. I had breakfast in the morning, so I feel strong.
What happened up there?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think him and Bernard started getting into it, and then it just became something crazy. But I was focused. I'm staying focused. I'm ready to do my job.
Last thing, can you describe your mindset 24 hours before the biggest fight of your life? What is going on in your mind right now?
I'm just ready to eat now. I'm ready to eat. I'm focused. I don't got much to say. My focus now is just on Gervonta Davis. That's why I kept looking at him. I'm ready to destroy him. That's it.
Thank you, Ryan. Good luck. Make some noise for Ryan Garcia, everyone. All right. Being joined now by Tank Davis. Tank, appreciate the time. What happened up there with Bernard Hopkins?
Talk about somebody, he about that life, man. Nobody not worrying about his old ass. He need to sit back and let the youngest do it.
Gigantic fight. Look at all these people out here for both you and Ryan. When you see something like this, a scene like this, outdoors, I'm sure this is what you dream of. How does this make you feel?
It just made me excited, man. Made me want to go out there and put on a great performance in front of the beautiful fans and things like that and get the job done.
Last thing, what's the official prediction? 24 hours away. How do you win the fight on Saturday night?
Punishment, knockout. It's going to be crazy. Crazy. Don't blink your eye. Don't get no popcorn. Don't get no drink. None of that. Make sure y'all focus. Focus on the fight because it's going to be a credible fight.
Thank you very much. Good luck, Tank. Jimmy, back to you. Make some noise for Tank Davis, everyone.
Well, the fights are now official. The fighters have weighed in for the biggest fight of the year, Gervonta Tank Davis against Ryan Garcia. It is still absolutely packed here at the Toshiba Plaza, just in front of the T-Mobile Arena, where the fight is going to happen on Saturday night, which you can order, of course, on Showtime pay-per-view. Kate Abdo and Brian Campbell here with you. We got exactly what you wanted, Brian. You wanted some pushing, you wanted some shoving. You needed to feel that.
Yeah, I didn't want the fight to get canceled, of course, with any violence before Saturday night. But look, that's what you want as a fight.
You just wanted a sense
you
of
want
violence.
to believe that this fight is as big as it feels. And what did we feel here? BFF, big fight feel. No, I get the acronyms
Big
taken.
fight energy?
Yeah, big fight energy would have been good as well. But the point is, look, this felt like as big as it actually is. You don't need a world title in a fight this big because of the level of superstar and what both fighters trying to prove by their performance to take it, yes, to another level in terms of their stardom, in terms of their critical respect, but to see them both make weight comfortably or comfortably enough as it looked in terms of their bodies and see them that edginess. I want to talk quickly though, Kate. Did you see Gervonta jawing with Bernard Hopkins up there?
I did. But annoyingly, we can't tell what that was about. But
we don't know the context. We don't know who started who. But I want to say one thing. What Oscar De La Hoya did at Thursday's press conference, that was planned. I mean, he read a prepared statement. The theme, obviously, was Gervonta making Ryan come down in weight. It means because you're scared. I don't think Gervonta's the kind of guy that is vulnerable to the mind. He's got a great fight IQ. He's been able to compartmentalize the things going on in his personal life, whether they're up or down, and leave them outside of the ring and take care of business. But I wonder if a wily veteran like the Hall of Famer Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya of Golden Boy Promotions is thinking, look, if there's any chance we can do that, let's try to get him distracted, because what did Tank do for parts of that face-off? Not worrying about Ryan, worrying about what Uncle Bernard had to say.
And you think that there's also maybe an element of them thinking, if we can get him emotional, if we can get him to come into the fight emotional, then that gives us a better chance.
Think about it, because what does Gervonta Davis do well as a fighter? We talk a lot about his CompuBox stats, where he throws the least amount of punches of any active fighter in the average over 12 rounds.
That patience that he'll show.
But because of that patience and his accuracy and his one-punch knockout ability, he is always ready to finish a fight at any time. What if you can get that guy off track, fighting emotional, maybe into a bit of a war that might open up opportunities? You do have to be careful what you ask for in that situation, though, Kate. You do know that. If you're Team Garcia, do you want somebody that powerful and that angry coming after you? What you do is you want him off focus. You want him off of his game.
I mean, obviously, the big talking point coming into this weigh-in was, what is Ryan Garcia going to look like at 136 pounds, right? He came in at 135.5. He says he's comfortable. He says he wants a meal, which is fair, right? I think he looked good. I don't think any of us would have looked at him there and thought he looked sunken, he looked drawn. He looked pretty comfortable.
I wondered at Thursday's press conference, his face looked a little bit challenged, of course. Look, the reality of this weight cut is real, right? At the end of the day, he's a big fighter with a big frame. It's why he announced he was moving up to 140 pounds before this and fought twice above this 135 or 136 limit. But I thought physically he did look good. I mean, we've seen much worse in our days covering boxing. And where you have legitimate questions. What I want, what I think everybody wants, that has been talking and harping about these weight provisions in this contract, is that it does not affect him in the ring. As of right now, it looked great. You want to see this answered, all the questions we have in the ring on even terms, as even as they can be for what they negotiated for. I think both fighters look ready. I mean, Tank looked ready to go. We remember at times he's had weight issues. No problems for a fight this big, and you love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I think it was Devin Haney's last fight where that picture went viral because he looked so drawn at the weight. So I think to see Ryan looking as comfortable as he did surely has to kind of give him a confidence boost going into tomorrow night. I guess you talk about kind of the, the physical advantage and how will Ryan be when he's only able to rehydrate those 10 pounds that the clause stipulates that he can weigh in an additional 10 pounds by tomorrow morning, both of them obviously. What about the mental advantage of Tank asserting that authority of, hey, I'm the A side, I'm going to make you bend more towards me and what I want. I'm fighting at 135, you're fighting at 140, we're going to fight at 136.
Look, you have to ask yourself, when it comes down to that level of negotiation where they were arguing over every tidbit, Oscar De La Hoya of Golden Boy told me they were arguing over every territory, how the money would be split. Some of it is done out of necessity, right? Caleb Plant in March only agreeing to fight Benavidez if he had the size of ring large enough for him. But some of that is, yes, a little bit of this mental game to show you that we're both alphas, we're both used to being the star. But somebody's got to go first on the marquee, whether you think that's the A side or we have two A sides. And I think for Gervonta Davis, that was a big part of it. As long as it doesn't come into play at all, I think that's certainly good. But how it might come into play if Ryan Garcia is physically taxed on the whole from this weight cut would certainly be in the second half of the fight, which, Kate, I think it does play into when we talk about strategy. We assume that the early half of the fight could be an area where Ryan Garcia can get off to a fast start, knowing that Gervonta is sometimes a judicious puncher. You hope he has the gas, that Tank, though, to stay away from danger in the second half if it gets there, because that's where the fight will be won.
Ariel Helwani, welcome back to the
friends.
stage. Good to have you.
What did I miss?
What
did
did
I miss
you feel?
anything?
What did we
miss? More to the point.
I'm sweating so much. It started to percolate. You guys saw everything. I don't have to recap it. And I was like,
how close to that were you?
I was pretty close. I'm going to go stand in the corner over here, guys, and let me know when you need me. But that was pretty intense, especially between Tank and Bernard Hopkins.
We were fascinated to know what was being said there. Could you hear that?
Not really. It was a little bit loud, and there was a lot going on in the music as well. I tried to get Tank to open up a little bit in the moment. I don't think he wanted, but there's just so much. I think that's what we love about these moments, right? There's commotion. There's all kinds of craziness. I loved everything about it, and I thought it was interesting. You know, like I said, Ryan made weight. He was all good, but he did say he wanted to eat. So we'll see, you know, how much of an impact that weigh-in was. But he looked good up there, I thought.
Kate and I were debating up there in terms of who pushed who first when there was a skirmish. Did you get a look at that?
It was hard to see. I mean, that thing, they initially said, guys, only 2 people with the fighter. Somehow, it ended up being 20 people with the fighter. I mean, it was some kind of melee up there. We've got Stack here to talk about it. I mean, geez, Louise.
Steven Jackson.
I needed some backup up there, Stack, if I'm being honest.
You did a great job. And you got back here in time.
I did, yeah, thank
great
you.
Great athlete.
That. Thank you.
You should hear about his Maccabee Games history. That's for another podcast at another time. Yeah.
I know you've been to a bunch of the Gervonta Davis fights, right? What made you want to be at this one specifically? Why was this one you said, hey, I can't miss this one?
Well, once the star power. You know, Ryan brings just as many fans as Tank. So when you see a young rivalry with young guys that want to fight each other, they're both at the top of their game, that's both undefeated, this is giving the fans what they want to see in boxing, and you very seldom see that. And I think this is the spark to it. You're going to see a lot of guys like Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, and all these guys fight each other now because these young guys are saying, hey, we're not going to be the age group that's going to avoid each other. We're going to be the ones to give the fights that people want to see, and I think this is a great start.
I want to jump in and say there is a new spirit. I talk about this a lot in Morning Combat about the rising young American boxer of this day in styles. Times are cyclical, right? There's times when we feel like everybody's always wants the smoke. There's times where we feel like boxers are becoming too much businessmen and they're trying to protect themselves. The spirit of the new young American fighter right now, these 2 that were behind us on the stage are certainly chief among them. They want it now, and I can say all the smoke all I want because your podcast is fantastic. They want the damn smoke, and they want it now. For business, that's the best thing, that attitude, that mindset. That as we talk about the difference between boxing and MMA, sometimes, Ariel, we take a loss in boxing and focus way too much on it. In MMA, it's like he's got to learn from it.
Absolutely. And the biggest fights are the ones where you know it's a big fight when we analyze every step to the fight. From the poster to the announcement to who announces first to the press conferences. And we were talking this morning, Stack, when we were doing our basketball show, you know, who won the first press conference? Who won the second? Who won that? I'm not sure who won
fans.
That.
Okay, the fans.
I think that was even.
You think that was even too?
I think Bernard won that one.
Bernard got up in there. I thought the executioner was going to come out there for a second. Sheesh.
On that subject, though, I'm kind of confused by the crowd because initially when I thought Tank came up, I thought that we heard boos. But then there seemed to be a swell of applause as well. And does it feel 50-50 here to you?
I think it's definitely 50-50. I mean, you got your people, the fans, you know, the social media crowd that's coming to support Ryan. He has a lot of fans. And he has a lot of boxing fans. But Tank is bringing a different demographic. I said it earlier. I asked both of those guys if they were stuck on the island, what 3 shows would they bring? And this tells the difference between these 2 guys. Ryan said he'll bring Lion King. And Tank said he'll bring Menace to the Side and Boys in the Hood. So you're bringing these 2 audiences together for a great fight. It's going to be a great weekend.
So that was when you guys had your podcast with them. You got to go into camp with both Ryan and Gervonta, even into the gym, I think, with Gervonta. What stood out to you about what you saw with him training?
His focus. He knew the interview was coming, but when he got there, he was so in boxing mode and wanted to hurt the punching bag and wanted to do work. We had to move our stuff out the way and basically be flies on the wall, which was an honor, you know, to watch him train. But he wanted to come in and lock in and do the interview later, and we moved all the stuff, basically shut the interview down because he was so focused on getting ready for this fight. He didn't want to leave anything to chance, and we didn't want to be in his way. But to see that focus, as athletes, we understand it.
Who are you riding with in this fight?
I'm definitely riding with Tank. I'm not counting Ryan out because one punch can happen, and Ryan has that factor. And he's also a great boxer. I feel like if he can use his length and stay away from Tank and not engage, like I said earlier, he has a great chance. But Tank baits you in, he forces you to engage, and it always ends up in a knockout.
Before we let you go, I know you come casual, you come with the hoodie today, but you've been hyping up the outfit that you've got ready for tomorrow.
Yeah,
what should people at home be expecting?
So you know, I'm a Louis Vuitton guy. As you see, I wear Louis a lot to all the fights, but I had a suit made. I want to respect these guys and show up the right way. This is a big fight. This is probably the biggest fight of the year, probably the biggest fight of this generation. And to see these guys bring it together, I want to have the old Frank Lucas American Gangster feel.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
everybody
nice.
And everybody that's coming with me is also wearing suits. Yeah, so it's going to be a beautiful event.
I need to start hanging out with Stack 5. I could my cool fact.
You think you can do Frank Lucas?
You already cool.
Can you carry off Frank Lucas?
I don't know who Frank Lucas is, but I'll carry whatever he needs me to. Okay, all right.
Don't tell nobody else that. Okay?
Yeah, well, I got dad vibes just leaking through my sweat right here. Wow, yeah.
Your partner in crime would be upset with you for not knowing Frank Lucas.
He would.
Stack, we appreciate you. Thank you so
Thanks
much
for having me.
coming through.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we're going to carry on talking here whilst we let Stack go and carry on with his day. Actually, Brian was very excited about the leather trousers that Oscar had on. You thought that was a cool look.
The outfit.
Hey, There was some swag up on that stage.
You know what was so great about it? You could see the fake abs coming through. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not hating when I say fake abs.
Wait. Why are we saying fake?
No, he has confirmed they are fake. He had surgery. He told me all about it.
So he earned the abs.
This is public information.
Yeah.
Public information.
He earned them, but then he paid to have the surgery that removes the stuff around it.
He is very. If you go on his Instagram, he talks about, I paid a lot for these. I'm going to flaunt them. We're talking about abs
Oscar,
right now.
you're a Hall of Famer. You need to be better than that.
No,
you know what
I love it.
Like,
I love it. Do you, Oscar? 50 years old? Come on.
Yeah,
Oscar.
I'm here.
Would you do it?
Absolutely
Fake
not.
abs?
But he's Oscar De La Hoya. He's the golden boy.
You wouldn't like the ripple effect through the t-shirt?
No, I have it already. What do I need to pay for it?
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like one of those things.
bad.
You know.
Rachel Nichols has joined us. Hey, welcome to the
Greetings, friends. How
Dream
are you?
team
Good.
here.
How did you enjoy that?
I thought that was amazing spectacle. I'm here for the show, guys. I want to tell you, the first fight I went to was here. It was Tyson Holyfield, and I've never seen a show like it, obviously.
Wow. One or two, because they were very different.
The one with the edibles?
Yes.
And by edibles, I mean physical ear
You don't mean the
situation.
dispensaries that have popped
I
up
do
all
not
over. Okay.
mean that in Las Vegas. No, I was in my 20s and just learning how to cover boxing. I was working at the Washington Post, and I tagged along with the great Michael Wilbon, who was covering the fight, and my job was to just sort of like be the little side person and learn the ropes and do the thing. And we're sitting there and we're watching the fight. And at one point, you see Mike take that first little nibble. And I said, Mike, is he biting him? And he's like, no, Rachel, they're embracing, boxers, the clinch, whatever. He's like, she really doesn't know anything. And I'm thinking, okay, all right. And then the second bite comes along, and I looked at it, and I was just like, and I just bang across the chest. I was like, Michael, he's eating him! And then chaos, obviously. And then afterward, I wrote what I consider one of the seminal stories of my newspaper career, where I found the ringside kid who found the piece of ear.
Oh,
wow.
And the money quote was him saying, and then I looked down, and it was just sitting there like a piece of sausage.
Wow.
And that was it. And then they went and they reattached for
Did
a
Hans
year.
Zimmer score a narration
it
to
was
that package?
unbelievable. So that was my introduction to big time boxing in Las Vegas, and I expect this fight to live up to it.
Well, you had a nice introduction to Showtime Digital joining the family here with your interview series. Some big names coming through. What can we expect?
Yeah. Headliners. It's on the network on Thursday nights, then available on streaming on Showtime, on Paramount. How's that for a plug? That was good, right?
Well done.
Thank you. Headliners with Rachel Nichols, and it is big names in the NBA. So we've had Joel Embiid, which was great because we think he's on the cusp of his first MVP. Dirk Nowitzki was this week's show, and he's just got some great stories. I guarantee it is the only place you will see a 7-foot Hall of Fame German dude rapping Shaquille O'Neal rap lyrics, because that is what he did for us in the interview. Apparently, growing up in Germany, he was a big Fuschnickens fan. Who among us wasn't?
Yeah.
Exactly. We got Dwayne Wade coming up next week, a bunch of Hall of Famers, a bunch of big-time All-Stars and title winners, and we're really excited about the series.
Sounds.
I mean, Shaq did have a cameo on the Fuschnickens' "What's Up, Doc." I mean,
that's the song.
Middle school BC is rocking out right here.
That's the song he sang. So
I just have to say, like, for as someone who loves journalism, the fact that you were there for the first time at a boxing event and went to find the kid, like, that is journalism right there. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't retire after that.
I mean, it would have been a short career. I was in my
well
early
done
20s, but thank you.
Most people wouldn't do that. They would say, let's go to the presser, let's go here. Like,
Yeah.
you found the story that the other people weren't covering.
Like a sausage.
Well
like
done.
a piece of
Yeah.
sausage.
Well, everybody,
There you go.
has a dream interview. Is there a big fish
Oh.
that you're actively going? I mean, I'm hoping it's like some of my heroes in basketball, like Andrew DeClerc and like the real blue collar men. But I doubt that's going to be it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been very fortunate. I've gotten to interview everybody I've wanted to interview so far. I'm very interested always in the next, though. So when Victor Wembanyama comes and is the next sensation in the NBA, I'll be looking forward to trying to interview him. I interviewed Michael Jordan several times through his playing career, and then once when he was an owner. And then I went to him for something, a couple years later, and I was like, we got to sit down and do another interview. And he's like, I don't do any interviews anymore, Rachel. And I was like, why? He goes, because I don't have to. So if at one point he's willing to come back on television, it has not happened in more than a decade, but, we'd love to get him back on as well.
Are you going to be in the building fight night?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't miss it. Who could miss this? This is incredible. I'm
Not
so
even Mike
excited.
Tyson can miss this one. And
Exactly.
you always, again, it's a big fight when Mike Tyson turns out, because if you watch Hot Boxing, you know that sometimes it feels like he doesn't even follow boxing, but he knows Tank, he knows Ryan.
This fight almost got made on Hot
I
Box.
know,
Like
right?
a big
He's been
FaceTime.
integral in it from the very beginning. FaceTime.
Yeah, I think Ryan was on a show like 2 years ago, right? And they called up Tank Davis on FaceTime. Now, when I mentioned it to the basketball guys, I was impressed by this. I was like, look at this 22-year-old kid calling out Tank on a show. And they're like, oh, that was just for the cameras. That was all for the cloud.
Oh, no, he really wanted it.
Yeah, he wanted it. He's been saying this. I mean, I remember when he got dropped by Luke Campbell, you know, you could have said, all right, he got dropped, he got tested. What did he say on the microphone that night? Where's Tank Davis? You know, he's been calling him out for a long time. Both these guys deserve so much credit. I'm so impressed with them, how they're handling themselves. I know it got a little contentious up there, but this is special. This doesn't happen often. 2 guys, under 30, undefeated. We've said it a million times, but I feel like it's worth repeating. This feels like an event. And, you know, after the last few years that we've all had in our lives, it's fun to be back in Vegas for an event.
Do you feel like this changes boxing in the way that we expect it to? We keep talking about the fact that this is 2 different sides of the street, right? The proverbial street in boxing, which gets in the way of everything. This is 2 different networks, 2 different promoters. This is actually happening. And I think we're all aware, right, that in the current climate of boxing, a fight like this, a fight of this magnitude, with those circumstances doesn't get made unless the fighters themselves really push for it and stand on that word and say, no, I don't want those other fights. This is the fight that I want. Do we really think that that sets a trend and changes how boxing works?
I'll say short-term yes, long-term no. Boxing is boxing. And there's a reason why, you know, Lewis Tyson and Mayweather Pacquiao, and you could count like...
Oh,
you know
Ariel.
I mean?
Oh, Ariel. If you want to...
Yes.
A pro tip, if you want to hang around boxing, there's 2 ways to go. Extremely optimistic or to the dark side.
I'm not being negative. I'm just saying short-term yes, long-term, it will always go back to the politics and all that stuff. It's just the sport.
Some of the biggest names are right in and around this division in the sport right now.
Well, 135.
Hey, man, I'm with Brian.
I got hope.
Okay,
all right.
fine.
All right.
I'm trying to be a realist
Hope
here.
floats here.
Over here.
All right.
What about your pick for tomorrow night? What are you thinking?
I'm going to say there's all kinds of reasons that you could pick one fighter or the other. You guys have done great analysis breaking down all the different things, how evenly matched they are, fighting styles. I'm from Maryland. I'm going with Tank Davis. That's my criteria. Boom.
Sense.
I'm a homer. I'm going for the favorite.
Do you pronounce it Baltimore as you're supposed
Baltimore?
to? Baltimore.
Okay.
Baltimore. That's how we say it?
Exactly.
So we're repping the DMV.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. And I totally believe in him. I mean, I think he's more polished. He's more experienced. And I love that he's a little bit of a counterpuncher. And he's from Maryland. So that's why I'm going to pick him.
All right. Let's go. You get to just enjoy the fight. You don't have to work tomorrow night. You
so
just
excited.
Have fun. Be a fan.
I really think there's nowhere else anyone would want to be because, as you said, it's so rare to get an event like this. And it's what we all grew up thinking of boxing, right? We all grew up thinking, oh, wow, the bright lights, this big-time boxing match. There was nothing like a big-time fight for so long. And because of COVID, because of politics, for all the reasons to be able to be here for one of these, it just feels like a rare gem.
Yes.
Rach, can I call you Rach?
You may.
If something crazy happens again, which happens in this sport, does journalism come back and just inject?
I would have to just, yeah, you're right. So if there's any body parts that fall off tomorrow, you know, intentional or otherwise,
you're going to be there.
I will go find those ring kids and I will get the story for Showtime. So we will be good.
So good to see you. Thank you so much
you guys for having me.
Appreciate you. I guess I'm interested because you actually got to see these guys close up and personal, right? How did Ryan look at 136? Any concerns?
Yeah, not concerns, but I would say he was skinny. He was like
I thought he looked better than I thought. I thought he looked better than I thought he would.
But we were way away. But
correct me if I'm wrong. You couldn't even see us, right? Because he was sitting. Am I wrong? Could you see us talking? Because they told me that we were blocked.
Oh no, I couldn't see you when you were talking to him.
So like so he went to sit down, and I don't know, is that a sign that he just couldn't? Who knows? Now now we're like really getting into the deep stuff, but I think he'll be fine. Look, it's not like he's never made this weight before. It's just been a couple of years, and he's a growing boy, and he's the consummate pro. And I was impressed with the way he handled himself up there, and I was honestly impressed with the way Tank handled himself in the aftermath too. Like he just shrugged off the whole Bernard thing. I would prefer if less of that happened, if I'm being honest.
Oh, not Brian.
You want more of that?
I'm
just saying, let it happen between them. When the other guys get involved, like at the press conference, it's cool. At the weigh-ins, let it be about the fighters.
Brian has a theory on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I don't think it'll work, but I think they've been trying to get into Tank. So they got to do something to get him off of his game. And I think it's been a collective effort, and maybe some of that worked. But to close on Ryan related to this, he negotiated it, so that's the fight and that's the rules. He brings it up a lot, but I think he's doing it to motivate himself. I've seen a very confident, as you have, Ryan Garcia throughout the build to this fight. Fight week did not change my thoughts on that. Whether or not he can get it done, I feel like mentally and physically, we're getting the best possible version we can given the situation.
He has arrived.
I mean, Andre Ward, we both talked to him this morning, the Hall of Fame boxer. He told me, look, I never would have made that deal if I was Ryan. He said, I've given things before in negotiations. I would give money. I wouldn't give that. I don't think Ryan would give it if he didn't know he can make it. He made it. Okay, here we go.
We always talk about like advantage, like you said, you guys were discussing about who won round one, who won the press conference, who won, you know, all these different days of build-up that we've had. I guess I'm interested, who do you think won the face-off, if there's such a thing, right? Because I think in a face-off, fighters always go one of two ways, right? You're either just going to act casual, like you don't care, or you're going to be John, you're going to be kind of mouthing off, right? Who do you think won?
Okay,
You read anything into that energy?
Well, I was surprised that Tank was focusing so much on Bernard, to be honest. Like if I was locked in, I would be locked in on my guy and say, get away from me, stop talking to me. You know what I mean? I thought that Ryan was very, you know, he was on point. And maybe it's because no one was talking to him from Tank's side, possibly. But it seemed like Tank was letting that other stuff get to him a little bit in that moment. Now, are we reading too much into it? Perhaps. But Tank has been, you know, he's been pretty cool. Yesterday, though, he did dip a little early when it came to the interviews and all that stuff. Is there something to that, or is that just
about you, Eric?
Are you saying he didn't sit down with you?
No, it wasn't even me. I'm being honest.
But it was you, wasn't it?
Well, it kind of was me, and I'm a little bit hurt about the whole thing. But
well, you know, you have been banging the drum for Ryan Garcia from the beginning.
Wow.
I mean, I saw your Twitter account today. Okay,
I just said I'm a man of my word.
I think you've got stock in Garcia.
I've got nothing.
Well, can we explain this story?
I'm a down-the-middle
because
journalist.
I heard this story over via the media, which was basically that Ryan said to you,
he said I had to be there.
Hey, I want you to be there. I want to be able to look into the crowd and see you, and you kind of compared yourself. Weird comparison, by the way, but you said you were like the Adrian to his Rocky.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the picture he was painting.
I would go more like Mr. Miyagi to his Danielson.
I mean,
like, you want to be that guy in the crowd that gives him, you know, when Daniel's about to make the move?
Yes, but I'm not doing wax
Mr.
on, wax
Miyagi
off
gives
with
him.
him.
No, but the nod.
You know, I don't want to be a little presumptuous with my position in his camp. You know,
Okay,
you know, we're
Adrian
acquaintances. You know, he's. By the way, he said I love you like 3 times to me in the interview. Just for the record. I mean, I think it's like.
So I think that sums up why Tank did what he did, and I support it.
No,
right?
but by the way, he was very nice to me. He gave me a fist bump there. But he has a very nice diamond on his tooth as well. I've never interviewed Tank so up close.
So next time I see you, you're going to have a diamond on your tooth, and you're going to have fake abs. I can just see it now.
No, I already told you I have the abs. I don't need the fake abs. Why do you keep talking about that?
To close on that, Kay, I will say Tank historically has been unflappable. He's going to be ready Saturday night.
Oh, do you know one fighter I also wanted to talk to you about? Because I also actually expected you to talk to him on stage. Was David Morrell Jr.
Yeah, they cut that because of time, unfortunately.
Okay.
It was going a little long, and Falcao was taking a lot of time getting undressed, so they said cut it. And I was excited to talk to him because I think he's a star. I actually just spoke to his head trainer, and they were telling me this guy's 8-0. They presume he's going to be 9-0. They're taking this fight on days' notice. He was supposed to fight at Becco, and they made the switch. They firmly believe, and I was like, come on, man, you're not really serious when you say you could beat David Benavidez. It's like, no, we could beat David Benavidez. We could beat him next, and it would be a huge mistake for him to take this fight, given how tough Morrell is. So this feels like an opportunity. I mentioned Mayweather-McGregor at the top. Who was the co-main for Mayweather-McGregor?
Gervonta Tank Davis.
That was a coming-out party for him. This could be the same for David Morrell tomorrow night.
I mean, he's 8-0, though. Do you think he's calling for that too soon?
He fought for a secondary world title in his 3rd pro fight. There's Lomachenko, right? Some people want to do this.
But there's levels and there's levels,
But he's
right?
25. He's not like Lomachenko who came out of the Olympics, won 2 gold medals. He's 25, but he wants it now. He's got extreme confidence, but the thing is, he does have the game to back it up. If he wins this, he is very much in the conversation with names like Benavidez, Canelo, maybe Jamal Charlo if he moves up. Demetrius Andrade, this division at 168, as we know from Plant versus Benavidez, is on fire.
Have you two gone on record with picks for this fight, main event?
Are we allowed to make picks?
I don't know.
Well, he's a Tank homer, so like we know he's going to pick Tank. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Yeah, Tank is going to. There's an inevitability.
I was just wondering if he's
to
okay
this
with
fight,
you calling him that.
And it is Tank by stoppage in the second half. This is up to Ryan.
You're
though.
going to say second round.
This is up to Ryan to show us something different with his defense, with his boxing ability. Can your guy get it done?
Who's my guy? I'm unbiased down the middle. 8th round knockout, Ryan Garcia.
There it is.
Come on, Ryan. I'll be there. I'll be there for the. You know why I want Ryan to win?
Why?
Because there's a rematch clause only for one guy. If Ryan loses, there's no rematch.
So we would get it twice, right?
We get it twice. I'm doing this for the company. I'm doing this for the network. I want a rematch. I want to do this all us. I want all of us.
If Ryan wins, the cringe level on the post-fight interview in the ring is going to be just cannot miss.
Are you doing the post-fight interviews?
I'm not doing it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Man, I got excited for you.
Jim Gray.
Then would you enter the ring?
I'm
Or
down
do you have
here.
plans? Are you going to enter
Again,
the ring?
Adrian, Rocky.
Oh.
How much more do I have to paint for you guys? He said it. Who am I? De La Hoya said I'm going to sit next to him, so maybe it's going to be me.
Oh, you're really in the family.
That's what he said on the clip. It was on the air.
Dang.
They got to rethink these hires. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Well, we are so excited for this fight. You got a really stacked of 4-fight main card that's coming up for you on Showtime tomorrow night. The main event starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is 5 p.m. local here in Las Vegas. You can order it on Showtime PPV. We are going to be there a little bit earlier in the arena. We're going to get
Countdown.
there. Yes, 3 p.m. Pacific until 5 p.m. Pacific. So that is 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm all over my
6
place.
Eastern. Yeah.
6 Eastern?
Yeah.
I apologize. It's a 3-hour
3
difference.
hours, yeah.
Mathematics, not my strong point. Yeah. So 6 Eastern, and we're going to call a 2-fight prelims coverage that you can watch on Showtime, the digital on the boxing. I don't know
Showtime
the
Sports
term.
YouTube
That's
page.
the one. Thank God that you're here.
Yes.
Showtime what? Say it again.
The Showtime Sports YouTube channel.
Showtime Sports YouTube channel. You said it many times more than me, Brian, but you say it so well. It's
Thank
good
you.
to have you
Thank you.
here in the
You know, am I sweating so much right now because I'm so excited for this fight, or is it a mixture of my diet habits and the weather in here in Las Vegas? You know,
what's wrong with your diet? Diet habits are a problem?
I got a black liver, but we talk about that a lot more in Morning Combat. We can tune in for an update. Thank you very much.
By the way, of course, these guys have to weigh in one more time, right? We've got this rehydration clause of 10 pounds. 11 a.m. tomorrow morning local.
Are we doing the
That's
show?
happening.
We should do that, by the way. I'm just throwing it out
Are you
there.
just volunteering us for more work?
Well, let's do a rehydration weigh-in show.
Hey, Stephen Espinosa's walking by right now.
No one's ever done that before, Stephen. All right,
We'll pitch
talk.
it. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Find out tomorrow, 11 a.m. Tune in. Maybe there'll be something there. It has been fantastic to be with you boys. Enjoyed this very much.
Oh,
We
yes.
will see all of you guys again tomorrow for the prelims. See you then.
Scared? You ain't big at all.
You gonna look
You
good
look
right
good.
on the ground.
Think about
You
it.
got no defense.
And you're delusional of your defense.
Cameras up top and back.
Las Vegas is buzzing this week for all things Gervonta Davis versus King Ryan Garcia, 2 young fighters right in the midst of their absolute prime.
Give me the World Cup final. Give me the NBA finals. I take this over all of that.
I put the work in. He gonna fail me.
Just have to wait and see when I'm in there why I'm so special. It's gonna happen, it's gonna be over.
I touch that jaw, I'm telling you, going to sleep. I'm gonna break your jaw. I promise you.
This man's never punished anybody in his life, man.
The talking battle, Ryan is definitely winning, but that don't win fights. Garcia is one of the most talented fighters I've ever been involved with.
Tank Davis by KO, and it might be early.
I don't train him for knockout. I train him for punishment.
Tyson, Holyfield, Corrales, Castillo, Mayweather, Canelo, Mayweather, Pacquiao. This event will go down on that list.
The winner of this fight will be the new king of the sport.
2 guys undefeated, don't like each other.
This is the moment where everything catches up for you in every way.
All he's relying on is a weak-ass hook. That's it. He don't have nothing.
Showtime pay-per-view. Saturday night, it's time for the mega fight of the year.
Your whole career is gonna come to a halt.
I don't know about him, but I'm coming with some stuff.
Taking it true. Let's get it.
We talk about the GOAT, man. He might be the GOAT. He set a new bar.
Setting the bar? He's killing the bar.
He set a new bar, I'm saying.
Both of them are on the list, the top 10.
What? Come on. Is he the best player in the league?
I can't say that.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
You got the-
Texas over everything bone mouth.
You ain't won every bet.
I have, though.
Nope. Come on. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. That's easy money. They feeling too good about themselves. They outside. I don't care what time.
He said he finna get South Beach.
Think about it.
South Beach.
Add them to my parlay. The PP parlay.
Listen to the Commissioner Pierce here. He has the insights on the flow of what we're creating here.
Truth is truth.
They doing the cha-cha, goddammit.
Big team doing the cha-cha slide.
Cha-cha.
Right.
Cha-cha.